That day, it all started with a single crimson smudge on his collar. Lipstick. When I pointed it out, he didn't apologize or look guilty. He just laughed, a cold, dismissive smirk spreading across his face. It was a look that said, "So what if I did?" In that moment, something inside me cracked. A sharp ache pierced my heart. But I said nothing. I just swallowed the pain and went back to folding laundry. His late-night meetings started becoming more frequent. One evening, I made his favorite dinner, setting the table for two, but he never showed. I sat there, alone, as the food went cold. Just as I was about to clear the plates, his phone, left on the counter, lit up. A notification glowed on the screen. A heart emoji from a name I didn't recognize. My breath hitched. The second I walked toward it, he rushed in, snatched the phone, and shoved it in his pocket, his back to me. I just pretended not to notice. From that day on, I became a silent observer. I started paying attention to the little things. The faint scent of a perfume on his jacket, a floral scent I never wore, the way he guarded his phone like it held state secrets. I started a journal, a private log of every suspicious moment, every late night, every lame excuse. Then came the bank statements. I noticed unfamiliar charges, dinners for two at expensive restaurants, flowers, gifts. I quietly took screenshots, never confronting him. There were nights I'd lock myself in the bathroom and cry until my eyes were raw and swollen. But I always wiped my tears, splashed cold water on my face, and walked out as if nothing was wrong. He'd saunter in, that same arrogant smirk on his face, and I'd smile back, acting like the perfect, clueless partner. I created a secret folder on my computer, a digital vault where I stored every piece of evidence. Each lie he told, I tracked. The more I uncovered, the more defensive he became, which only confirmed my suspicions. One night, while he slept, his smartwatch buzzed on the nightstand. My heart pounded as I leaned over. Messages, flirtatious, incriminating messages. My hands were shaking, but I managed to photograph them all. I looked at him, sleeping so peacefully, looking so innocent, and my heart shattered all over again. How could the man I loved be this stranger? That night, sleep was impossible. At 2 a.m., I was wide awake, hunched over my laptop, researching my legal rights. I found a lawyer and contacted them anonymously, just to understand my options. I started saving money, tucking away cash from every paycheck, creating a secret fund. He was my partner, but I was suddenly on my own. His behavior became more and more blatant. He started overdressing for work, dousing himself in cologne. Then, that same foreign perfume scent appeared on his clothes again. It was like he wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. That was the last straw. For the first time, I followed him. My heart was in my throat, but I had to see it with my own eyes. I watched from a distance as he pulled over and a woman got into his car. He leaned over and kissed her. My world crumbled, but my hands on the steering wheel remained steady. I took photos. Clear, undeniable photos. I drove home, my mind numb, and managed to get back before he did. When he finally walked through the door, I faked a smile. He launched into a confident, detailed lie about a stressful client meeting. I just nodded along, playing the part of the fool he thought I was. I backed up all the new evidence to a hidden drive. I even checked his car's GPS logs, finding repeated visits to the same hotel. I printed everything: the messages, the bank statements, the photos, the GPS history, and stored it all in a safe place. A shift happened inside me. The tears stopped. The heartbreak began to harden into resolve. I started emotionally detaching, seeing him not as my partner, but as a project. I started taking better care of myself. going to the gym, buying new clothes. He noticed, of course, and his ego loved it. He assumed I was doing it for him, to keep his attention. He had no idea I was preparing for my new life without him. I secretly reconnected with old friends, rebuilding the support system I had let slide. I studied his cheating pattern, analyzing the timeline of his betrayal. One day, I found a public social media post from the other woman, a picture of a gift I recognized, with a caption that hinted at affair. I saved it immediately. I created a detailed timeline, cross-referencing every lie with my evidence. I upgraded my bank security, moved my important documents to a friend's house, and then I found it. A large sum of money transferred from our joint account to a private one. I calmly printed the bank logs. With a heavy box full of evidence, I went to meet my lawyer in person. As I laid out the organized, color-coded, and chronologically ordered proof, the lawyer just stared, shocked by my preparation. That day, I signed the initial legal documents, my hand steady and sure. That evening, I went home and cooked his favorite dinner. He sat across from me, lying about his day with the same old confidence. I listened, my face a mask of calm. I watched him smile down at a text, his thumb tapping out a quick, secret reply. I acted completely unaware, feeding his arrogance, letting him believe he was invincible. I had already chosen the date. His birthday, the perfect day for his world to end. On the day, I set the table with our best china and lit candles. I told him I was making a special birthday dinner just for him. He arrived home, beaming, expecting a celebration of him. He sat down at the head of the table, looking proud, so sure he had me completely fooled. I walked over and placed a beautifully wrapped gift box in front of him. He smirked, that same infuriating smirk, probably expecting a watch or expensive cuff. He tore off the paper, lifted the lid, and froze. His face went pale. Inside wasn't a gift. It was his betrayal, neatly packaged. The screenshots of his texts, the photos of him with her, the hotel receipts, the bank logs, the timeline of his lies. Everything. His smirk vanished, replaced by a look of pure shock. He started to stutter, fumbling for excuses, his eyes darting around wildly. I remained calm, my expression unreadable. I reached into my bag and placed the divorce papers on the table right next to the box. Panic set in. He reached for my hand, his voice pleading. I pulled my hand back, not with anger, but with finality. I began to speak, my voice steady and clear. I listed every date, every lie, every secret meeting, matching them to the evidence in the box. He stared at me, the color draining from his face as he realized I had known. For months, he begged me to talk, to scream, to cry, but I was done with emotions. I stood up and calmly walked to our bedroom to get my pre-packed suitcase. He followed me, his voice shaking, begging for one more chance. I walked to the front door without a single hesitation. He was crying now, his entire world collapsing. "Please," he sobbed. "Just one more chance." I paused at the door and turned slightly, looking at him one last time. "Your smirk finished everything," I said. Then, I stepped outside and closed the door on our life together. As I walked away, I didn't feel sadness or anger. I felt peace. I moved into my new apartment, a place that was all mine. That night, I took my first deep, free breath in months. My new life had begun, and I was stronger, calmer, and happier than I had ever been. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories.